Has anybody shown up? I'm in the middle of painting a new picture, and because of the videos I just saw, and one of the videos happens to do with how can I refer to this? Great, I've slowed you down and slowed you up, and haven't taken you anywhere. Treason, and I want to show you something about the treason. Okay, and I'm going to have to shut part of this down, move this over, and hop this one back up, make this one a little bit smaller, move it onto that side. Whoop, she got bigger. Move it onto this side over here, make it a little bit wider, and show you what I'm showing you. Do you see where it says notice? This ain't no notice. This is all code. Okay, do you see this over here? No, not overtime. Time on ice. Stop the electric. Electric backwards. Electric. Eccentric. Which way do you want to do? G is the gateway of 1. Exclamation, 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 I, and I, 27. This is something to do with Venus. Venus and Neptune are now on here. Now, New Ordered World. Flag, face, lift. Angel, flag. Lag, gal. The leg, the gal is the cut or the split. U.S. Universal Soldier. Flag is in red, flag gone. The flag is gone means take away. Take away what the people's rights used to be, they are no longer. Do you see who sits in the backgrounds? I don't know who this guy is, but he must be something special. You have to check out this guy, and you must compare him to somebody else. I'm not sure who yet. Revert his American Embassy number. This is on ice. To entice the mice. The mice are which in the heads and the minds of man. What do I have to say? A, stop eating chicken. Stop eating eggs. Don't eat any chicken. Don't eat any eggs. Why? Because that's how they have you. They've got you by the yellow. They've got you by the balls. Okay? You're going to have to reduce the amount of sex you have. Why? Because it's a sex drive that closes our eyes from inside when we no longer can see because of the sex drive what happens during and after. Do you know why we wear condoms now? Do you know what happened? They created a disease, and they created the disease because they no longer wanted the intertwining of marriages like they said in the Jew, do not marry the same family. Do you know why they say that? Because by intertwining internally, we keep creating a stronger and a stronger child that comes upon us. When you don't mix the liquids, you don't learn. When you don't learn, you don't evolve. And then all of a sudden, it's eating away at you. You want to eat eggs? I say stay away from eggs. What do I think about butter? You see, this whole breakfast deal is starting to turn back at me, and I'm starting to think, what do the horses eat? What do the horses eat? Sometimes it's a lot better to work in teams than to work alone. To work in teams, it said Rudolph had a team to work with, so they accepted him. But without the team, Rudolph was sunk. By the team of horses that pulled the great load, without the team, the voyage is sunk. How did they stabilize us into this world? Why haven't we been able to really connect with the spiritual world unless we tried real hard? Because somehow, every time you went forward 3 days, you went backwards 2 days. How? By not the stuttering system of moving, of where the moon comes every 28 days. I want to know something. If I see the moon tonight, who is not going to see the moon tonight? What does it have to do with 40 and 60? 1.5 times 40 is 60, giving 0 the value of 1.5, because we're only looking for the difference of where the difference is just the difference. So how do you make up the difference? By shoving a 0 in between and going 1.5 times whatever it is the difference between the two. Now I got it halfway. You use the lower number to get the higher number. You get the higher number to get what's above him because he becomes the lower number. What's 1? What's 11? What's red? What's green? What do we look at? Should we go to the races and see what the races are? Or should we just hang out at Walmart's all day and buy little things where they show on one side 1, 1, and 1? And I'm starting to think, which way does this one go? Hey, which way does this one go? Do you know why? Because the 1 is located. Do you know where the 1 is located? It's on your keyboard, and it's located just in front of 2. And 2 says, where at? Let me see that again. Yeah, it says, where at? And then 3's right next to 2, and 3 gives 2 a shove, say, take a look what's above my head. He says, oh, that's the cat sign, the dog pound, the pound key. That's where they're at, in the dog pound right now. In the last corner of evolution, we're going to get them good right now. Ha, 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 ha. Who are we? Do we really know the position of who we are, that we're only angels of the earth, and we chose to be the evildoers, and certain ones won and certain ones didn't? Imagine tomorrow, okay, somebody that's the worst criminal in the world pops up in your face, slaps you a high five, says to you, let's go play ball. And while you're throwing the ball around, the angel spirit looks at you and says, hey, do you know who I was in the last world? I was a pianist. Well, la-dee-da, I cleaned shit for a living, and that stuff always had a different smell. What are they doing with our food? Presently, people won't like me. I've looked up an Eskimo recipe. I've looked up some Indian recipes. I looked up some rare air, the air I breathe from the turbine on my head. God told us, watch out, look, the turbine is all over the Egyptian. The Egyptian is a point of time in which Pharaoh was building the Sates, and Sates was ordering Pharaoh. And then till the Moen comes in, Moen faucets. A little time for the egg to hatch. And all over this White House bunker of the week of OB or the QB, because if you say QB often enough, eventually you can just leave out that dash in the quarterback, the 1/4 of the back of who he is, because Barack Obama doesn't become the 1/4 of the quarterback. He doesn't get that QB sign. He gets the OB, because the one that he is stands up, just like this. It stands up. This is the only way he can stand up. I'm going to show you how it stands up with him. Oh, not this way. Maybe this way. Oh, that book's finished. Next book. Oh, and I started on the last page. Oh, and that book's finished. Okay, we'll take the book that I really don't like. Face change? Hey, what's going on? Don't tell anybody what I see. I see X. X is 1. Just a rib. Just one rib? Yeah, just one rib. I think the rib looks like number 1. What do you think? Nah, I shouldn't joke. This is supposed to be the serious time. The worst things that whatever has ever happened on earth, since the beginning of time, there's something about the beginning of time, something that is going to happen that has never happened before, with you in it. And I don't remember. But it's going to happen. The question is, the closer and sooner it happens, the more valuable my words. The longer we wait, we will be interrupted by the new times of a new word of the coming times. Now this is what I'm going to show you. Who is number 1? Well, this is what it is. We take a big circle and we'll square it off, and everyone that is holding up the wall is number 1. So we'll take it apart right away, and everybody who's holding up the wall for the wall will hold it apart. And then they take it again, and who's number 1? Number 1 is everybody holding up the wall of the wall. Oh, hold on a second. What if this was the last wall that we needed? So we stretch all the way out. All the way up we stretch. And we stretch all the way up. I'm not designing. I'm just showing you we've just turned lines into H's and I's and A, B, C, D, E, F, tic-tac-toe. And where's Barack Obama right now? He's right over here. He's doing this because he holds on to everything. This is your AC. This is your quarterback. This is your zero. Your zero's here, your zero's here. D, 1, D, 4, 1, 4. You want to see where we're going now? Let's take a drive. Where are we going to take a drive? Is this video started? Yeah, let's take a drive. Let's get rid of this one. Let's go for... Wait, I gotta show you where it is first. Where is it? Okay, let's go for, see what I spelled there? Take a good look at it. To grow green is what it says. Grover says to grow green, roll over, Grover and Rover. You must grow green from red, because Red Rover was a dog and he was red. What is he not red? Reveal, revolt, revolt, regrow. Revolver, regrow. Over. It's over. It's Grover. Okay, move over, Grover. You don't think so? Number 23. Grover Cleveland, 22 to number 44. That's 22 presidents later. Grover Cleveland, 24 to 44. That's 20 presidents later. But because he's the all-actuality, really and truthfully, no more than 22nd president, to 40 to 44 to 43. He would be 21 and 23 is 44. Right now, if Grover Cleveland was here, and from his presidency to the next presidency is actually 21 from the first presidency. Because actually it's 22 from the first presidency, because he was 22 and Barack Obama's 22. But what if I told you Grover Cleveland was 22, was 24, and was number 44? So you see we got Grover. Sesame Street. Sesame Street. 4114. Let's see what we can get here. There you go. How about that? 4114. ABC 4114, C same street. In French it says Saturday on it. It says Soul and Sam, Spirit Angel of Man, Mass, the mess in the church, meet me on the street. Do you know where STR is? STR is 18, 19, 20. 55 is E and E. 7 times 6, 7 plus 6 equals to 55. It's a treat to meet me on the street. Right? Grover, he's got a red nose and a blue nose. What does that mean? That the truth comes out in his nose? He's Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer? What does it mean, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer? Silver and gold. An abominable snowman. How about that? For the first time, I thought of it. The abominable snowman. In the world, it seemed like, what was happening? It wasn't icy in the winter with Rudolph, was it? The abominable snowman. They come in all colors. Silver and gold was the song. Is it you, the one with the golden mind? The silver of thought, the quickness, the speed of lightning, to be able to keep up with the computer and always asking the right questions will get you the answer more often than not in the next world? Because you're thinking of the right things. You're able to process a lot quicker because you're able to receive with the right questions and the right act on duty, because your mind will get a correction every time it doesn't do right. Not in the world that we're in right now, but in the world to come. And will it take a lifetime to figure this whole thing out? For some, yes. For others, even when they figure it out, it's so scary just to know, what am I doing after this life? Like, that's my biggest worry now when I go to sleep. Oh my God, if I die? Oh my God, if I die? Oh my God, what am I going to do after? That's why I'm thinking, what am I going to do in my next life? And it hurts just as much as saying, as I'm dying. That's how much it hurts. I have to show you something I just saw. Isn't this crazy? She even puts out with the Cookie Monster because he's eating our information. She's got on the bow tie. Look, what do you know about the number one? And it's not one. It's an O, okay, or it's an egg O. Why is it an egg O? Because it's got that, and then it's got that. I know how to draw a little bit better because they taught me at night. You know why it's jiggity? Because they're both on the same side, their lips, they open up, so you get a jiggity line showing it's not fixed. But you know, either there's a line like this, or there's a line like this, or there's a line like this, or the line is like this. Now the question is the line ever like this? Two areas. Irregardless of the area of the line, once you cross over another line, each one of these lines gets cut off. They're all single lines. You have to bolt them all together, You put a bolt in here and a bolt in here. Anyways, look what we got. By doing what I did and putting his arms in the air, we got V, D, V, D, M, MD, VD, medical doctor, VD, caused by the society. ACDC, do you think for 1 second I was going to give up and be satisfied that A was really an A with no discussion? Oh no. A somehow is the actual, somehow I'm going to find out, but I'm going to make sure A owns the totality of zero, along with E. Because without the gases and the electricity and everything, we don't keep the bubble alive. I mean, although you're the operator of the bubble, without the energy in order to create and make that this all becomes one, that it all zero becomes one. ALL 24, 25, 1 jack, 1 quarter. Why 1 quarter? Because everything is in Ds. 414, 4D. D, VD. 3, 4, 3. 4, no. 505 Levi's, because that's the way the lines cross. Now this is the screw of the energy of how we keep screwing forward, and yet, as perfect as it is, we've only made tomorrow 4 days early. In 3 hours from now, you are supposed to be at night. And 3 hours later, unless you're at day. That's how fast our time is actually going. We run a 12-hour clock, so our mind can actually, we can't even get it out of our minds if we had to see anything different than what's on our clocks. B and O, Barack Obama. Just the O alone. What am I showing you? Well, I'm showing you a 2. Showing you an X. Showing you a U. There's an egg growing in you. Well, I don't know, but if I turned it around like that and did this, all of a sudden you'd see a big face, and if you just darken in the face just a little bit, you'd be laughing and spitting, and here's your tongue at the bottom. Barack Obama. Do you want to see what else we have on here? Look at that. Number 4. I have never seen so many blue people. We have blue at the end here. We have a guy with a big beard. We've got the lady in the center. Now, you see, this is very important. I never even noticed this. Who is she? What does she stand for? Okay, she has a story to tell, but she still has that smiley face. What program is she from? She's going to tell a story. It might be a very mean story, because look at the color of everybody's hair in this one. Even though you have the electronic blue, okay, which is the two-ball, or it's the Israeli flag, whichever way you want to look, all the old rust, right? They're big old beards with blue noses. Not a red nose, a blue nose. Did you blow your nose today? Did you blow your nose today? Keep your senses clear. My nose is blocked. I don't sense anything at all. So now we did this. I'm going to go back to the treason with Barack Obama. It says, notice us is USIS, Swiss. This says Swiss. Why does it say Swiss and it says Swiss and it's in blue? And that's the electronic Swiss. And that's not good. That is definitely not good. Definitely not good. Oh my God. You is us is I? Oh no, I don't like this. Gone just turned into a cone of one, the cone of silence. Very private. All the stars are 555, 55, 625, 3125. 3125 is AC. It equals to 56, 2 moons, Mars moons. I don't know what it means. Barack Obama is wearing a blue tie. Does his blue tie represent his brown nose? OB? Do you remember what I said about B and O? If B was with O, like 0, or 20, 20 is the same thing as T, well OB and B and O is the same thing. Time, heaven again. O and B create 17 because O being before B. When O comes before any number, it's automatically a 15. OB is 152. 152 is the 52 weeks in a year. 152 is the 10 God. Okay, 1 times 5 times 2 is the 10 God, plus 5 plus 2 plus 1 of the 8 heaven. You have to divide that up. It becomes 4 2s and 5 2s, 4 fifths, 5 4. The operational God of it. And that's why when it shows notice, why did I say it? Because 5 by 4 is 20. 5 plus 4 is 9. 29 is the birth of it. The operator of the 10-10 world. Why do I say 10-10? Because Roman numerals only have an X for 10. They have an X for 10. We have a 20 in this world, and the 20 is here. 5 times 4, 5 plus 4. 5, 6, 2. 2 and 5 is 8. 15 and 20 is 35. The egg. 9, 3, 5. 9, 3, 5. E-I-E-I-O. Every second letter, every second letter, every third. Every second letter, every second letter, every third. Every second letter, 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 every third. C-T-N. What does CTN stand for? NTC. N. 10. Oh my God. T. The T letter, the E letter. T, E over E, because they go over each other, E-N-T-E in the sound, it would say 10C. 10cc. I told you he was the commander and the creator of 10cc. Number 23, creator, Mr. Grover Cleveland. Here he is. Welcome. Either it's his father, his brother, his sister, I don't know, but this guy's got to be Grover Cleveland, or he's the guy in between the 2 presidents. So let's see who would be. Oh, you see this? Craig Duncan Rothschild, creator of horse racing and Major League Sports. But we're not going to mix his name in here. We're going to get here, we're going to look up P-R-E-S-E-D-E. Ding, ding, ding. Here goes. And we are going to welcome in on this page. It's waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. This is the time we're at right now, ladies and gentlemen. You have been here as long as me. This is an incumbent. Okay? He's bent before he comes in. He has came before he was in, because he was made from an incumbent. He is one of the sperms that was redone. And this is the color the chicken plucked them out. Was he a brown egg or was he a white egg? And the chicken, she kept plugging those eggs. Style of presidency, honorable. O-N, on or gold able. Golden able of the mind. His ex, and cell of C&Y, Cy Young Pitchy Award winner of the Diamond Field, 4, 5, and 6 Federation of the Cabinet, which means off the shelf 10, IBAC, I am the supporter of the angel creation, the spirit of the angel creation, and he comes into this new body. They steal, instead of letting you, and this is what I'm assuming, it sounds a little crazy, but instead of you, all of a sudden you're supposed to be born into this body, and they throw a spirit out, and you're supposed to show up, and the machine pushes you away. Yeah, the machine pushes you away. You're both the same thing. You're both electric. If he bumps the road, you don't get in, you go back home, you have to wait to be born again somewhere else in this world. If you want to come here quicker, you just become an animal. And then while it's your turn again, you have to re-out-bump the machine. Why? Because they put their electronic spirit in the place of who you are. They're more robotic and off the system than anything else. They only existed from another world before the death. They stole the DNA, they duplicated, and they replicated the brain forever and ever. And then they downloaded one brain into the next brain. I don't know if that's possible, but I sure as hell can see it. You know what they say? If you see it, give it a shelf, a place of opportunity. Don't close the door right now. If you know you're going to really remember and it's easy for next time, just leave a letter on the door. A letter, you'll know it. So then we're going to come down here. It says the instrument. An instrument is something you put in for creation in the instrument. The residence, the constituting of the instrument, the of the institute, of implementing the instrument of what? The formation means more than one, and to put together of the nation, the amalgamation, was only done in 1789, but yet the Statue of Independence was signed in 1776. So you see right away, first holder was George Washington. He was a holder of what? Was he a holder or an implementator? To implement what he holds. Because if he doesn't implement what he holds, he is nothing. April 30th of 1789. Do you know what this date is? The 30th of the 4th month, the 304th day of the year. This is Halloween, my friends. They put this in on Halloween, the Illuminati style. His salary was $400,000 annually. Well, that must be wrong or something. 2001 and up. So regardless of what it was, 1789, 211 years plus 13, 224 years, 225 years next year. You know what that says, ladies and gentlemen? You know what 225 years is? That's a Mayan count. Those are the eggs. 225 years is 15 and 15 eggs. It's a complete egg tray. Complete of O. The only time the end of the O is an O is when you look into my face, into my mouth. O. The way it started out. O. Just a round little circle. Just an O. That's how it's said. The water. Here it says the presidency for more than 2 years of another person's term as the president, and all 43 individuals have served 55 four-year terms. On January 20th, 2009, Barack Obama became the 44th and current president. The 44th and current president. Well, what does that mean, 44th and current president? It doesn't make any sense. All I know is that it's 225 years, and it's 15 times 15 is 225. 9 birth quarters for the house you have in your own mind is 225. 112.50, 11.25. I just mentioned it like 10 minutes ago, or is it 20 minutes ago? I don't even know what to say next. I'm a little talking all over myself now. 225. 225. What size of what kind of board would be 15 times 15? Because now we know we have 225 eggs. But we need 300 because bowling is 300. How does that work? Well, if I can remember that you are 3/4 of who you are, because you're not the diamond that connects the silver spirit to you. You're not that. You are a receiver of it, but you're not that. You're 3/4 of yourself, because 1/4 is how they your body is gone to them. They want taxes, they're going to collect taxes. Whatever they want, they get. So, I mean, and everything, it's just, everything is all the same. I couldn't even explain it any better than that. 4, 4, 4, 4. I could have did it the other way. The other way, it's 4K, 4K. Well, is this one K? 4K on this side, 4K on this side. Fork, 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 fork. Knife. Would it be a spoon or a fork? Which side would it be on? Venus. Man. 28. Moon. 28 days. Venus. 81. 3 by 27. 2 by 14. 4 by 7. 7 times 4 is 28. The Einstein error of the Einstein deal. M and N plus 1 is O. Venus 3 by 7 is 81. Or Peyton Manning and Denver, 1881. Imagine if every number you ever had started at 00. Go up and go down. If you go from 99, which you can't get because you have 2 dice, only 2 dice in the game, and you go down from 100 to 99 to 98, if you rolled a 3, okay, or if you rolled a 4, you would be on a letter that's higher, like the letter R would be the 81st number, instead of it being the 18th number. Or, let's start from Z, 26. Why 26? Because we have 2 eggs. The zoo, the new moon, turn the letters for moon and zoo, and you'll have, or put 200, 200, and it'll say zoo. Why? Well, I'll have to show you if I don't lose my place with whatever I was talking about before. We're gonna 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now you see this here? Okay. This here we put a 2. This here we put an O and put an O. You got zoo. Why? Because this is the only way to put the 2. You have to connect corner to corner. So 2 would be zoo. Why? Because this is an empty box. But this is not what I wanted to show you. I didn't even want to show you that. That didn't even... there are 1,151 leap years since the year of 6,204. Now what are we going to do? 6204 to the year 5775 is 225 is 429. 429 years different. Okay, I was doing something different with this. I was trying to calculate. I'll tell you what this is after. So there's 429. 29 and 29 is 58. 58 and 58 make all the letters of the months of the year, which represent, I'm not quite sure, and I really don't like the last couple of minutes. This also says, this I know is a mark for electricity, hydroelectric. I know about chickens, I know about pigs, and right now all I'm eating is seafood. Do what you want. If you don't like it, learn to like the salt. Try to find the one with the natural salt. Eat anchovies, but try and stay away. Watch where your salmon is coming from. Stay away. Do you know what they're doing? Do you know what they're doing? Do you know what they're doing with the food they give you? They manipulate the food before it becomes food. Then they see whether or not they can sell it to you. They're changing the molecular structure in your mind. That, along with the chemtrails, which is feeding it something they're not allowed to put in your food, so they put it in chemtrails. And you only need a little bit, because one molecule starts to germ. And then it germinates within your own mind. And it's growing right now in your own mind, and it's going to tell you what to do. It's going to be weird at first, but you're going to get so used to it that you'll just listen to your intuition is so great. But it's not your intuition. You're going to be bumping into people because they're going to make you bump into people. Why are they doing this? It's crazy. Why don't they just rule the world? The only reason I can see they're doing this is for the next generation. When we will own the right to that element of being able to think from more of a machine-like and being able to go faster within the human body, becoming super bodies. It's not what we're always trying to do. Let's become superhuman, and then all of a sudden we're superhuman and you go, shit. I don't want to be superhuman. I can't get it up. Vai, via, Ag, the waterfall, via the waterfalls. The vibration heightens via the waterfalls. Before I let you go, just a picture I was slowly trying to make. I don't know if I'm ever going to finish it, but see the chicken at the top? See, whatever I do always comes true at the end. You see the chicken? And then this one owns the chicken, and then this is his mouth. I'm going to put it in color. Do you see the dog that's in here in the white? EC, electric company. And then this is more or less like part of Hoover Dam. See where the brick walls are over here? See this? See the way it's designed as a P? I don't know if I can show you this one because, okay. Trying to get into the center. This is something I started about an hour ago. I'm only kidding. I don't know, it looks okay. This is the first one I've ever done like this. Anyways, it's in the eye of the beholder. This says Christ, okay? Christ. In the first row, he had 19, man on the moon. In the second row, he had the circulation of the moon, 8 and 20, 28. 28 plus the invisible 15 that's in here. See, we're going to take 20 and put on 15 for the 0, unless you want to go 0, 2. And then you'd go 15 plus 2 anyways, or 152, which is a memory thing. So this one over here would be T, 20. Add on 15 or 6, would be 26, would be the dog pound. 6 and 2 is 8, 8 and 8 would be 16. 16 runs in 28. Took 28 to bring it down to 16. Is that right? 2 plus 15 is 17. Plus 8 is 25. That's the 1/4 jack, but I was only counting this one. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 and 16 is 26. 26, which is 26, right? And there's a T that was already on it, so since the T is already there, add 6. T and 6, 20, excuse me, I'm sorry, T20, okay, which is 2 times 0 is 0, and 2 plus 0 is 2, and the 0 value is 15, makes it 17 or 6, which makes it an 8. 8 and 8 was 16. That's what I said before. 1 and 6 is 7. So 1 and 6 is 7. This would become 728 or 287. Time heaven. 2 and 8, 1 and 4, 7 times 4, the name of man. 30, the creation. Christ says the creation of time heaven inside the head of man. We were created. There's a Christ of something inside of us. Now, is that to be good? Is that whatever it means? I do not know. And Christ is the risk factor. Why? It's a high risk factor. R-I-S-T, the wrist. He got nailed to the cross. Got nailed to the cross? He got nailed to the cross. What, a car drive up his rear end? He got nailed and pinned in between? That terminology of being nailed to the cross, gone with the wind. Go back 3,000 years and see what they did to people. See what they did to people 3,000 years ago. See what they did to people 2,500 years ago. And then the minute you get to 2,200 years, 2,300 years, that cycle of 15 times 15 eggs, listen to the way they change, the way they speak, the way they wrote in their books. Even people who write history, science fiction history, actually know the truth within the realm of their own mind. So therefore it is truth. Somewhere it happened at some time. Something, whatever they said, had to do with exactly what you're thinking, regardless how they two met. This says Christ. And this is 1999. Not completed. Incomplete. Last line was here. Or 6661. Why? Because 15 is 6. 24 is 6. 15 is 6. 6 is 6. Then you go to the middle, and then you continue it on to this side. Continues on. I take this. Let's start like this. We start like this. Here. What does it look like? See what it is? And then this one gets put back to this one here. So you get 1, 666, 666. There's one in between here, 666 here, 666 here. Only one of the sixes are real, I mean in your world. This is what it will design. I'm not sure what it means this way. The totality of this is 4777. If you take the 6 and add 6 more here for the T letter, or 11, it becomes 88. Why? Well, because T, which is the 20th letter, 2 and O equals 50. The O, 15, equals 11. Why? 1 times 1 plus 6 equals to 11, plus the 2 is 13. So take off the 20 from here, from 77, making it 57, plus 13, making it 70. 70 is what they're talking about. It's resh. It creates the 7, the 7 with the egg. 7 crisscrosses to make everything into X's. And it's also a way to slide down to the next floor. You walk on the floor and you slide down. You walk on the floor and you slide down. I guess that's just the way it was made. It was the only way to reconnect the top floor with the bottom floor. While it moves, you can't have a staircase. So instead of putting a staircase, you put a slide. So while you connect it to one area, the slide is connected to the bottom or the upper area, and you don't need anything down at the lower area. You're either in this position or that, and now you have a moving staircase that's never in the way, doesn't take up much space, and you get from A to B in no time at all, and it's sometimes a little too steep to even let you down that way. The other thing is a couple of these. See the way this one's bent? This, and this? Take a good look. Take a good look. I'll try and show you. See the jack? Why jack? Why? Because it comes in. It might be a piping system where it comes in through the funnel of A and C. A doesn't exist alone. A is not alone. Somehow, okay, the entire thing is a star. God's got to be like this, some kind of star of some sort, like a bacteria, not a bacteria, but how can I say this? In between, center. One level, 2 levels. We keep passing through these things and moving on somehow. See these? It's not the same here as it is over here, eh? So they go up, then they go over, then they go down, then they go in, then they go up. 6 days it takes for the rotation, with the middle being in the 7th day. But they connect that 7th day, you always fall 1 day behind. After 49 weeks in the year, you've actually fallen 7 weeks behind. You're actually at 42. Every time you get to 49, you're at 42. But that's not the only thing. Like I said, when you reach the age of 65, you're actually only 13. Why 6 and 5? Because 6 and 5 are the first two numbers that come out of creation. Number 2 times 3, 2 plus 3 equals 56. Because 5 times 6 creates 30, which is creation of the 666 angel. Why? Because 30 is 3 and 0. 0 is 15 is 315. It says ACE, ace letters. 1 and 5 and 3 times 15 is 45. 5 and 4 is 9. If you have counted 1 through 9, you add them all up, it's 45. Because 3 plus 15 is 18 is 666. You become 6 in all worlds. You reduce to 5 when you begin to think. And eventually you're all heart, so you are one. Standing inside of X of 9/11, because it's only 9/11 that exists in this world. There's nothing less than 9/11. When God split you up, He split up your life within you. You are an X inside of the star key. You're a multiple X of some sort, and there's a way in and there's a way out, and it all starts in your heart. But it leads up to your brain. How we were built, what the numbers actually mean for who we are as human beings. I've got skin. I like sex. I don't mind going to the casino, but I don't, because it'll take away from my time that I'm sitting with you. We won't talk about the other part, because personal things that make no difference, other than it'd be great to have a girlfriend, but then I'd have to give up some time with you. Even though it's a struggling time with you, you never argue with me. And I can share you, but I can't give you up. So we went 3, 6, 6, and 6. And we know the rotation of the cube because it's been broken apart. You see the heart? You see the way it's moving on this one? This one is on that flower, and this one is on that flower. The different kinds of petals on the flower, the different kinds of Jetson! Elroy. What do you want, Astro? Jane, his wife. His wife. Jane, his wife. Is it the other part or the better half? Why? Because we're in a world that exists within my next part that I forgot to finish here. Right on. Let's look at it. In blue is federal government. Okay? In blue it says politics and government of the United States. Politics and government of the United States. Elections, political parties. Hold on a second. That doesn't sound right. Politics and governments of the United States. Political parties, it means they own the right. And federalism, mysticism. Federalism, mysticism. Let's go on. Abraham Lincoln, George Bush. Okay. Right now, Jimmy Carter, George H. Bush, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush are all still marked up. Two were left wing and 2 were right wing. But D in French says right, and R in English says right. They served a total of 4, 8, 16, 24 years together. First 4 would make D. Then 4 would make H, saying designated hitter. Then Bill Clinton comes in, has his own 8. From designated hitter, they go up to the 1 spirit of 6. The 1 spirit of 6. Let me write this down. First they go up with Jimmy Carter, and they get a D. They get a D, and they go up 77 to 81, which is 4 years. Then we go to General Electric, George, the Mind of Gold, H. Herbert Wagner, W. Bush. Boy, do you wish. Jewish, eh? Bush, Jewish? I don't know. You tell me. Then we went to Bill Clinton, and George H. Bush was a right. So first we went to a D, okay, and then we went to an R. D and R, call a doctor. 4 and 9, 9 before the creation of 36, before the last scenario comes in on Bill, Clitoris, Clinton, and Monica Lewinsky. Can't leave her out. I mean, she's an automatic. Anytime you say Bill Clinton, you got to say Monica Lewinsky. Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky. Is she with him? No, they're staying apart. They can no longer get their bookwork together. Bookworm, his worm. Then after we have Bill Clinton, and he's on to D, okay, we have George W. Bush, George, general elected, pays no tax, W. Bush. You know what I have to say before I continue? That's what I want to say. If we would get an association together in order to regulate why we pay tax and why they really need it and who's doing the checking, do we have a need, and how much time would we need? And the answer to that is none. Because we already have an association together that only keeps working for them, following their laws with every beat. That's all they do. But why is there someone on top of that? Why is there a ruler? Why is there a police station on top of the tax department if we don't pay to take you away? Who created this? And who's allowed to check what they really need? If we are the people of the nation and we don't want to put out any more money for our safety around the globe, I think we have the right to stay here who we are, and if 60 or 70% vote just to let it go, then let it go. If it's going to end, let it end. Don't suck us dry. Make us worry. Work twice as much. We work twice as much to make ends meet. While we work twice as much, there are people who are working half as much. And they're working half as much. Because we're working too much because we can't make ends meet. Now they don't have a job. We go out to other countries to pick up and bring home food. To bring home wares and built in China and Asia, Tunisia, and all around the world. Have you ever thought of this? How much is actually coming from inside my country? How much, what is the percentage that is given out in every single category regardless? We don't need it if we don't have it. And how much space does it take to hold the inventory as it comes in to build? And how much space does it take for the inventory? How much space do we need? How many trucks do we have to put on the road to make this highway work in order to be able to create everything that's coming from China? Is it really coming from China? Is it upstairs or is it downstairs? Underneath the Baltic, an ocean that may not even exist. The only reason the Baltic existed is because they poured over a city with water. And they built the city underneath. But I'm quite sure it leaks and there's rats down there. But nobody knows. Because you didn't have the thought. You can only know if you have a thought. Think of something you don't know. A possibility. Just name a place. The minute you name a place, you say, okay, what can happen there? Can the clouds come and it rain over their city alone? And I'd say, yes, it is. Underneath the Baltic, does the Baltic exist the same way Earth exists? Maybe Earth exists only under the Baltic, where Mars is hidden inside a new moon. Why the Baltic? Don't ask me. Ask Parker Brothers. I didn't make Monopoly. They're the ones who keep telling me, it's over there, it's on the purple. 4 and 3, purple. Well, that's the 9. Yeah, it's the 9 in horse racing. They come into the 10 world under guard of the queen. How do we know? Because 10 plus 15 is 16. One spirit is 6. Bill Clinton, D for right. He's a right side. Everything's sort of like on the right side. Back in a minute. So, now don't sew things together or piece things apart. So under the Baltic, now we have these presidents. 4 years for Jimmy Carter. Praise the man, 90 years old, fantastic. I personally like the guy, but I like all the presidents, they're funny. They remind me of Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. So Jimmy Carter won O3, Mercury, and Mars. 4 years. Letter D, J, C, D. Don't worry. Jesus Christ is not going to say anything if he took his initials. 103 is Mercury. Mars is 51. 2 moons. Moon number, moon name. The word moon, the number of positions it takes within a year, or a certain number of days, that's going to be exact. Like if you tell me how many times the moon goes around in a year, it's 13. Well, it's 13 in 2 days, but I don't want to know about 2 days. You got a hit in the second inning? Yeah? You had 2 balls on you when you got the hit, right? Doesn't make a difference. You got the hit. 2 balls don't count. At one point when you stepped up to the plate, 1 ball was thrown at you. You didn't know what it was until it got by. Until the guy behind you decided whether or not he wanted it to be a strike. You took a half a swing, eh? All his decision, right? Don't argue with the big guy. They taught you that in sports. Giant snails. Now you have George H.W. Bush. 7, 8, 23, and 2. 3 times 2, 3 plus 2, 6 and 5, 11. 11. He is the gate line between the 7th gate and somehow speaking for the 2 worlds. What does that mean? Well, because he's 7 and 8, he speaks for Earth, the Earth moon, and he speaks for the Mars moon. So he's one who brings information back and forth, or at least he was doing that for 4 years. He was bringing news between information of Earth and Mars. The moons of Luna means the 1 moon of the day of man, because man is number 28. Einstein. We have 1111, which is 2 and 2. 7 by 8 is 56. The air we breathe of man. Saudi Arabia. The turbine. The turbines of hydroelectric. Barely rains in Saudi Arabia, but I get they still get to water their lawn, no? George H.W. Bush. Add an S onto that because he's now a senior. (7852). He stands for the Queen or the Speaker of Earth. I see it right away. Speaker of Earth. George H. Bush, Bill Clinton, Jimmy Carter was first. So Jimmy Carter was 4. George Bush stood in 4 years. So he gets an H. This is the designated hitter. 1 is the hitter. The H part of the hitter, okay, is I and H. 8 and 9. He plays just the same thing, a role of bringing the information, the new information. Then we have Bill Clinton, and that's BC. And BC right away again, number 23. He plays the same role as George Bush, is bringing the information, as Jimmy Carter played the role between the moons of Mercury, which is the blood of man, which is the Mercury and Mars association, because Mercury doesn't have any moons, so Mercury is somewhere around here. Then we had D and H. Then we had Bill Clinton, number 23. He stood for 8 years. 4 and 4 and 8. D, H, P. George Bush, 8 years. X. Four, D, 4, H, 8, P, 8X. Horsepower, the Phoenix. 4, 2 times 4, 4 times 4, and 6 times 4. 6, 10, 11, 12, 13 times 4. 13 times 4 is 52. Earth and Mars. 4 more years, which makes it 8. 8 more years, which makes the letter P. And then 8 more years makes it here. The next one equals 32. But he's not going to make it that many years. Well, how many years is what? But he's already marked in for 4 more years. So we got to mark 8 years. 8 years plus X. Now what do we do at X? Do we go to Z and come backwards? So that's what we're going to do. Y, Z, Y, X, W, V, V. I'm going to use V, and at the same time I'm going to say number 32, and number 32 is E. 32E. Oh my God, that's so perfect. That's so perfect. Oh my God. What happens is, first of all, it becomes 2 moons when you put it together, the totality and the number of years. If you add up Barack Obama now, 8 more years, you get to 32. Right? 8, 16, 24. 24. 16, 24, 28. 38, 48, 52. This number here is 52 for Earth, but in all actuality, it was 24. 4 and 4 and 8 and 8. Now Barack Obama makes 32. 32, 3 times 2, 3 plus 2 equals 5 and 6, 11. 11 plus 32 equals 43. 43 equals GE, General Electric, electric company. Oh my God, it just makes so much sense. I'm so alone in all of this. The picket fence, because everyone is on the cross. The cross is the railroad. What does it have to do, the railroad? I do not know. But anything that was big time in this world, my friends, anything that was big time in this world, all I know is right now we're in a time that I see all these 8s. And not only that, 32 and 32 is creation 64. How do I know? Because it's the last turn. Okay? You have to see where the numbers are. I have to find the dice cube. Find the numbers are on the backgammon game. But 32 and 32 is 64. It says Israel. It says Zion. It says 0. 6 times 4, 6 plus 4, it says Earth and Mars. 3 times 4, 3 plus 4 equals the man on the moon. We are so connected. And because I believe in something that most people would have a hard time believing, I'm probably the greatest believer in this next thought, is that I believe in myself and my thoughts. I believe that if you can think it, then it's real. Why didn't I think of this 25 years ago? Well, I'm just saying to myself because I've been practical all my life. I think you only have to be practical in the time when it means the most, when you really had to remember. And I feel that now is the time, more and more. And like I tell everybody, the minute you see something happen, no matter what it is, if it touched your heart, the first thing you want to do is get your kids at home and go to the grocery store and pick up some food. Food that's going to last you 3 months. Because there ain't a truck that's going to move, let me tell you. Let me tell you one thing. There's not enough people to man the streets that when we start following every single law that they push us to, all they can do is bring in the army. But is everybody going to be senile in the army? Is there anybody in the army that has ever watched me besides M? Don't you see what's going on? I'm a guy that doesn't believe in any of this stuff. But because I can calculate it to a number, it's got to be real. Because the numbers are real. The last 3 presidents are 8 and 8. But this Barack Obama is another 8. It connects them all together. 888. 44, 888. Why don't you look up 4, 888, 4. 8 times 8 is, first of all, 888 and 888 is 1776. 8 and 8 is 16, 16, 16 is 48. And that's the game we're in now, New World Order, NFL, where there's a new law in the NFL. And that law is when you play in overtime, you score 3 points, but the first team that scores 6 wins the game. Unless time runs out. They changed that law.
Isn't that funny? There's now a new way to end the football. 6-1-3-3-6. No extra point. No extra point in the matter. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for watching.